Melanin, pigment, right?
Right.
Is so unbelievable, George. They use it in computer chips now because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Can you imagine this? It has this incredible ability to hold on to and transduce and manipulate electrons, electronic energy, and photons, photonic energy. It's a fascinating molecule.
Black Excellence and Abundance Channel. Melanin, the pigment that colors skin, eyes, and hair, could soon be the face of a new generation of bio-friendly electronic devices used in applications such as medical sensors and tissue stimulation treatments. A study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences for the first time gives remarkable insight into the electronical properties of melanin and its biologically compatible bioelectronic features. Semiconductors are arguably the most important modern-day high-tech material. They drive all modern electronics, said study co-author Professor Paul Meredith of the University of Queensland. The majority of semiconductors are made from inorganic elements or compounds such as silicon or gallium arsenide. Organic semiconductors, on the other hand, are a relatively new member of the semiconductor family and are composed of molecules containing carbon, hydrogen, and other elements. Co-author Ben Powell, an associate professor at the University of Queensland, said that in semiconductors, such as those found in computers and mobile phones, electrons carry the electrical current. However, in biological systems, such as brains and muscles, ions carry the current. We've now found that in melanin, both electrons and ions play important roles, the scientist said. The study points to a new way of interfacing conventional electronics to biological systems using a combination of ion and electron conducting biomaterials such as melanin. Melanin is able to talk to both electronic and ionic control circuitry and hence can provide that connection role, said Professor Meredith about the study's findings, the culmination of 10 years of research and experiments. There are very few materials that meet these compatible bioelectronic requirements, and an insight into melanin's important biological functions and properties has been really crucial in this study. The team is currently working on creating ion-based electrical devices using melanin, with a view to ultimately connect them to actual biological systems. A critical area that one could foresee for bioelectronics is stimulating or repairing signal-carrying pathways in tissues such as muscle or brain, Professor Meredith concluded.
Dr. Benjamin Fuchs is a registered pharmacist, nutritionalist, and skincare chemist for over 35 years. He is quoted as having said, "Sight in biology means cell. Melanocyte is a cell that makes melanin. Melanin pigment is so unbelievable that it is now being used in computer chips because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Protonic energy. It's a fascination molecule, but all of this electrical energy makes it very powerful when it comes to the way cells divide. Fascination cell in the body, and that is the melanocyte. Did you know that melanin is the super absorber of all forms of energy? It has black hole properties. It absorbs toxins. It can convert light to sound and back again. It stores, transforms, and conducts energy. Melanin allows the growth of human beings towards spiritual consciousness and inner vision. Yes, folks, that thing that you have in your skin and throughout your body. Now it kind of makes sense why black people are so spiritual, because we have that thing called melanin. In humans, melanin is the primary determinant of skin and hair color. However, few people know that melanin is found in almost every organ of the body and is necessary for the brain and nerves to operate, the eyes to see, and the cells to reproduce. I personally think that melanin is our superpower. Melanin is like vibranium, the fictional material in the movie The Black Panther. That's right, folks, melanin, that same thing on your body that gives you the color in your skin. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Numerous studies have shown that melanin aids in the human reproduction. Melanin causes younger looking skin. It has superior protection against the effects of ultraviolet radiation. And just think, many of us are old enough to remember when calling someone black was an insult. Just imagine that. If we only knew the power that we had in that blackness, the power in that melanin. The reality is that is a great compliment. And just think for a second, if melanin has this many uses, could you imagine the unlimited number of uses that melanin has?
Call as leaders of the private health sector to the headquarters of General Electric, the biggest company in the world, the leading medical company in the world. I was representing the Catholic Medical Practitioners of Nigeria and the Association of General and Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria as the committee chairman of the National Health Act. And presiding over the National Health Act public hearing was Senator Ike Ekweremadu, who was then the Deputy Senate President. And
let me comment there. Who did you say was presiding?
Well, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, he was the presiding senator for the bill public hearing. And the sponsor, the chief sponsor was Ifeanyi Okowa, governor, but then Senator Liberation. We were called as leaders of the private health sector to the headquarters of General Electric, the biggest company in the world, the leading medical company in the world. And we were told that Bill Gates offered them $2 billion to build 260 hospitals in Nigeria. So they want us to name it can be paid off, so we will leave the entire medical system so that we will not be practicing medicine, we will not be practicing pharmacy, we will not be practicing laboratory science. In Nigeria, no Nigerian will be in the medical profession. And we should just name our price so we will be compensated for. We couldn't believe ourselves.
Why would anyone do a thing like that?
This was done, this was a trick. And we know for sure that this was headed by an international organ trafficking cartel. They funded the National Assembly, of some people estimate to the tune of $6.2 billion. They also bought all the Nigerian government, federal government hospitals at the cost of $3.2 billion. They even to buy all the Catholic hospitals for $2 billion, but the bishops refused that. So this is a well-organized cartel who are actually moving into Nigeria in order to actually buy up, or they have already paid an advance on all our organs. Anybody in the Federal Republic of Nigeria has no entitlement as it stands today with the law. And we know this for sure, that these are billionaires from the United States who funded this organ trafficking cartel to take the organs of Nigerians. Now, my colleague AGK had asked whether I was there when this cartel made the negotiation. The answer is yes, I was physically present.
But what I realized is we are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the babies we eat, the food we eat.
And her magic wrinkle cure. But so it's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry, Steve. She knows.
She knows.
She knows. There were a couple protesters about it because they are cells from baby foreskin.
Oh, baby foreskin.
That makes it better.
A piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
When you see how good it
Reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population,
Wait. What the?
More of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
What the?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, for the next pandemic, we'll solve all those problems.
You say the next pandemic. There will be another pandemic.
Absolutely. We don't know when.
History teaches us that the next pandemic is a matter of when, not if.
We know what's next. We're going to have another major coronavirus pandemic before the end of this decade, before 2030.
Eating genetically modified foods causes cancer because it actually puts into the body basic ingredients that the body does not know how to use. DNA from 2 different species are spliced together. A tomato and the DNA from an Atlantic salmon, they splice together to create a tomato that will grow in the snow, but it actually doesn't happen. When a human being eats genetically modified food and that food's broken down to these simple structures, especially amino acids, the body says, "Who are you? I don't recognize you." And if there's no other amino acids, they have to use them for the building of the DNA, and that causes flaws.
àgùntàn tó bá bájá rìn á jẹ̀gbẹ́. The sheep that walks with dogs will eventually eat feces. Lesson of the day: watch the kind of friends you keep.